Hello everyone and welcome to the Young and the Restless official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, March 17th reveal that Kane Ashby will blow his top after Nate Hastings confronts him. Diane Jenkins Abbott will also make some adjustments when it comes to her living arrangements, so there'll be a lot happening on Tuesday's YNR episode. For starters, this whole Jack Abbott kidnapping situation will continue to cause problems in Victor Newman and Nikki Newman's marriage. Following Jack's rescue, Nikki and Victor will remain at odds about the extremes he went to. Victor will stand by his actions and may dig his heels in on throwing Nikki off the ranch for her disloyalty. Meanwhile, Diane's going to make an important choice at the Abbott house. It sounds like Diane will decide to move out, so she may pack her bags and insist she can't stay under the same roof as Jack after catching him with Patty Williams. Although Jack was drugged, it may take some time before Diane finds out that part of the story. There's no guarantee that news would make much difference to Diane right now anyway, since she's so angry and hurt. Jack may plead with Diane to stay and try to fix this, but she might end up booking a suite at the athletic club. At Crimson Lights, Nate will have a run-in with Kane and deliver a fierce warning. If anything happens to Lily Winters and the twins, Nate may admit he's going to hold Kane responsible. Kane will end up losing his temper since he's already heard this same rant from Devon Winters. As Kane blows up at Nate, he may admit no one can punish him more than he's punishing himself. Kane will make it clear that he's doing everything in his power to bring Lily, Matty Ashby and Charlie Ashby home. Maybe Kane could even bring up Victoria Newman and wonder if Nate seriously thinks she was in the dark on Victor's twisted plan. Kane might get Nate thinking and leave him wondering if Victoria was holding out on him before. Although Victor claims Lily is in cahoots with him, Kane doesn't know that and will remain concerned as he faces off with Nate. The Young and the Restless spoilers say some Kane and Nate will have some harsh words for each other, so stay tuned. The tension in The Young and the Restless continues to surge toward a boiling point as the events of Tuesday, March 17th unfold with emotional intensity and dangerous consequences. The fallout from Jack Abbott's shocking kidnapping continues to ripple through the lives of everyone connected to the powerful families of Genoa City. Even after Jack's rescue, the scars left behind by the ordeal refuse to fade quietly into the background. In fact, the situation only deepens the fracture inside the marriage of Victor Newman and Nikki Newman, a couple whose bond has survived decades of betrayal, power struggles and emotional war. Yet this time feels different, heavier somehow, because the choices Victor made crossed a line Nikki can't easily overlook. The weight of those choices now lingers between them like a storm cloud that refuses to pass. Even though Jack has been rescued from the nightmare he endured, the emotional wreckage left behind continues to fuel conflict inside the Newman marriage. Nikki remains deeply troubled by the extremes Victor went to during the ordeal, and the tension between them is thick enough to silence even the grand halls of the Newman ranch. Victor, stubborn and unyielding as ever, refuses to apologize or soften his stance. In his mind, every action he took was justified, every risk necessary, and every consequence acceptable if it meant maintaining control. But Nikki sees something darker in those decisions, something ruthless that threatens the man she thought she knew. As their argument intensifies, Victor may once again dig his heels into the ground and threaten something drastic, forcing Nikki off the ranch for what he views as her betrayal and lack of loyalty. The emotional standoff between them becomes a powerful reminder that even the strongest marriages can crack under the weight of power and pride. Across town at the Abbott mansion, another emotional storm begins to gather as Diane Jenkins Abbott faces a devastating decision about her future. The elegant home that once symbolized her new beginning now feels suffocating, haunted by a moment she cannot erase from her mind. Diane had walked in on Jack in a compromising situation with the unpredictable and dangerous Patty Williams, a scene that shattered her sense of trust in an instant. What Diane doesn't yet know is that Jack had been drugged and manipulated before that moment ever happened. From Diane's perspective, all she saw was betrayal unfolding right in front of her eyes. The pain and humiliation cut deeply, leaving her heart raw and furious. Unable to shake the image from her mind, Diane begins packing her bags, determined to leave the Abbott house behind rather than continue living under the same roof as a man she believes has broken her trust. Jack desperately tries to stop her, his voice filled with urgency and regret as he pleads for another chance to explain. He insists that things are not what they seemed, that there is more to the story Diane hasn't heard yet. But Diane's heartbreak is too fresh, too overwhelming for logic to break through the storm of emotions raging inside her. Even if she eventually learns that Jack was drugged, it may not be enough to erase the hurt she feels right now. In her mind, the damage has already been done. The betrayal she believes she witnessed feels real, and sometimes feelings carry more weight than facts. Determined to create distance between herself and the source of her pain, Diane decides she can no longer stay in the house that once represented their future together. Instead, she may book a suite at the Genoa City Athletic Club, hoping that a new environment will give her the space she desperately needs to breathe and process the emotional chaos surrounding her. Meanwhile, across town, at the cozy and familiar setting of Crimson Lights Coffee House, a different kind of confrontation is about to erupt. The tension in the air is almost palpable when Nate Hastings unexpectedly crosses paths with Kane Ashby. The encounter begins with a cold exchange of words but quickly escalates into something far more serious. Nate's concern for Lily Winters and her children is written all over his face, and he wastes no time delivering a fierce and unmistakable warning. If anything happens to Lily or the twins, he will hold Kane personally responsible for whatever consequences follow. The accusation lands heavily, igniting a spark of anger that Kane has been desperately trying to contain. For Kane, the warning is nothing new. He has already endured a similar barrage of accusations from Devon Winters, and the pressure has been building inside him like a ticking time bomb. Nate's words become the final push that causes Kane's temper to explode. Frustration, guilt, and exhaustion all collide in a moment of raw emotion as Kane lashes out. He fires back with sharp intensity, insisting that no one in Genoa City could possibly punish him more than he's already punishing himself. The weight of what's happening to his family is crushing him from the inside out. Every waking moment is consumed by the desperate need to bring Lily and the twins home safely. As his anger cools slightly, Kane makes one thing painfully clear. He is doing absolutely everything in his power to rescue Mattie Ashby and Charlie Ashby and reunite them with their mother. But then the conversation takes a surprising turn when Kane raises a question that leaves Nate momentarily speechless. He brings up Victoria Newman and wonders aloud if Nate truly believes she had no idea about Victor's twisted plan. The possibility hangs in the air like an unsettling whisper. Kane's words plant a seed of doubt inside Nate's mind, forcing him to reconsider whether Victoria may have been hiding something all along. The thought is troubling, and Nate cannot immediately dismiss it. What makes the situation even more complicated is that Victor has been telling others that Lily herself is secretly working with him. Kane, however, has no knowledge of that claim and remains deeply worried about Lily's safety as he argues with Nate. From his perspective, Lily is a victim caught in a dangerous situation, and the idea that anyone would question her loyalty only adds to the emotional turmoil he's already facing. As the confrontation continues, the two men exchange harsh words that echo through the coffee house, drawing the attention of anyone within earshot. Their argument reflects the fear, anger, and desperation that now grips everyone connected to this dangerous chain of events. As the drama intensifies across Genoa City, it becomes clear that the consequences of Victor's schemes and Jack's ordeal are far from over. Relationships are beginning to fracture under the pressure, trust is slipping through the cracks, and loyalties are being tested in ways no one expected. The battle lines are forming and emotions are running dangerously high. In a world where power, love, and betrayal are constantly colliding, the residents of Genoa City are once again reminded that even the strongest bonds can be shaken by secrets and suspicion. And as the story continues to unfold, one thing becomes certain: no one will emerge from this storm unchanged. The emotional turbulence sweeping through The Young and the Restless shows no sign of slowing as the day unfolds, and the fragile balance holding Genoa City together begins to crack even further under the weight of suspicion and fear. Inside the Newman world, the growing distance between Victor Newman and Nikki Newman continues to echo like a quiet earthquake beneath their powerful empire. What once felt like an unbreakable alliance now trembles with unresolved anger and painful disappointment. Nikki cannot shake the haunting realization that Victor crossed a moral boundary in his relentless pursuit of control, and the thought gnaws at her conscience with increasing intensity. Meanwhile, Victor remains the same immovable force he has always been, convinced that strength and dominance are the only ways to survive the ruthless world they inhabit. The longer their conflict lingers, the more it threatens to redefine the very foundation of their marriage, leaving both of them standing on emotional ground that feels dangerously unstable. Not far away, the emotional devastation unfolding at the Abbott mansion continues to deepen the divide between Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott. The once warm atmosphere of the home now feels heavy with tension, every room echoing with the unspoken heartbreak hanging between them. Diane moves through the house with a sense of quiet determination, carefully gathering her belongings as if each packed item helps reinforce the emotional wall she's building to protect herself. Jack watches helplessly as the woman he fought so hard to win back begins slipping through his fingers again. His mind races with frustration because he knows the truth behind the moment. Diane witnessed the truth involving Patty Williams and the manipulation that led to that disastrous scene. Yet no matter how desperately he tries to explain, Diane's wounded pride and shattered trust make it nearly impossible for his words to break through. To Diane, the betrayal she witnessed feels undeniable, a moment frozen in time that refuses to fade, no matter how many explanations Jack offers. The pain sits heavily in her chest, mixing with anger and disbelief in a way that makes forgiveness feel like an impossible task. Even if she eventually learns that Jack had been drugged before that encounter, the emotional wound may not close so easily. Right now, the only thing she can focus on is the overwhelming sense that the life she was rebuilding has suddenly collapsed around her. With quiet resolve, she decides that leaving the Abbott house is the only path forward if she hopes to preserve what remains of her dignity. The solution comes in the form of a temporary escape, a suite at the Genoa City Athletic Club, a place where she can put physical distance between herself and the heartbreak she feels every time she looks at Jack. Back at Crimson Lights, the confrontation between Nate Hastings and Kane Ashby continues to simmer with unresolved tension. What began as a tense exchange quickly evolves into a raw emotional collision, fueled by fear for Lily Winters and the safety of her children. Nate's warning still lingers in the air, sharp and unmistakable, making it clear that he will not hesitate to hold Kane accountable if anything happens to Lily or the twins. But Kane, already stretched to the edge by guilt and desperation, refuses to accept being painted as the villain in a crisis that is tearing his life apart. His voice carries the weight of sleepless nights and relentless worry as he insists that no one understands how deeply he is suffering. Kane's frustration spills out with surprising honesty as he admits that the harsh judgments from others pale in comparison to the punishment he's already inflicting on himself. Every passing minute without news about Lily, Matty Ashby and Charlie Ashby feels like an eternity of regret and fear. He cannot escape the crushing responsibility he feels as a father and husband, and that burden is slowly grinding him down from the inside. Despite the anger in his voice, there is also a desperate sincerity as he promises that he will stop at nothing to bring them home safely. It is not a threat or a boast, it is a vow born from love and desperation. Yet, just when it seems the argument has reached its peak, Kane introduces a possibility that forces Nate to pause and reconsider everything he thought he knew. He questions whether Victoria Newman could truly have been unaware of Victor's elaborate and dangerous scheme. The suggestion lands like a sudden crack of thunder, shaking Nate's certainty in ways he didn't expect. Victoria has always projected confidence and control, but Kane's words hint at the unsettling idea that she may have known far more than she admitted. The thought lingers in Nate's mind long after the words are spoken, opening the door to doubts he never anticipated having about the woman he trusts. What Kane doesn't realize, however, is that Victor has already been spreading a far more shocking narrative, the claim that Lily herself is secretly working alongside him. Kane remains completely unaware of this accusation, which only adds another layer of tension to an already explosive situation. From Kane's perspective, Lily is in danger, and every moment that passes without answers only deepens his fear for her safety. As he continues facing off with Nate, the emotional stakes rise higher and higher, with both men standing firm in their beliefs. Their confrontation becomes more than just an argument. It is a reflection of the chaos unfolding across Genoa City. And as night begins to settle over the city, the consequences of these tangled alliances and hidden motives grow more unpredictable with every passing hour. Trust is crumbling, loyalties are being questioned, and secrets are slowly clawing their way into the light. In a town where power, love, and betrayal are constantly colliding, no one can be certain who is telling the truth or who might be hiding something far darker beneath the surface. For the residents of Genoa City, the storm surrounding Lily and the twins is only beginning, and the emotional battles ignited on this day may reshape their lives in ways none of them are prepared for. The drama continues to tighten its grip, promising that the next chapter of this unfolding saga will push every character closer to the breaking point.